Welcome back, readers. We're going to continue our Ordinary People Change the World series with I Am Jackie Robinson by Brad Meltzer. I am Jackie Robinson. Sometimes it's hard to be brave. My mother was brave, and she liked brave people. When I was born, the youngest of 5 kids, she even named me after someone brave. His middle name will be Roosevelt, Jack Roosevelt Robinson. Why Roosevelt? After President Teddy Roosevelt, he fought to make sure black people were treated the same as everyone else. That's a lot for Jackie to live up to. You'll see. I'm not worried. But having a brave name doesn't make you a brave person. In fact, as a kid, I didn't like sleeping alone. I used to sleep in my mom's bed. Even when she tried to bribe me, I wouldn't leave. I'll give you $25 to go sleep in your room. Not a chance. It's better here. One of my scariest moments came when I was 8 years old. I was outside, and a girl from across the street called me a terrible name. I was mad. I yelled a name right back at her. Her father came running immediately. He didn't like it that a black boy was standing up to his white daughter. We were the only black family on our block. What'd you call her? She started it. I don't remember who threw the first rock. But the fight was on. Me versus her dad. Get him, Dad. I had a good arm, but no one wins in a rock fight. Eventually, the girl's mother came out and broke it up. Like I said, the world can be a scary place. But even as a kid, there was one thing that always made me happy. Sports, and winning at sports. Okay, that's 2 things. I love playing everything. Baseball, football, basketball, soccer, marbles, even dodgeball. All the kids would get in a circle, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. We all played together. The rules were simple. If the ball hit you, you were out. I'd duck, jump, leap, and of course throw, and throw, and throw. By the time I was done, I'd be the last one standing. Are they mad I won? Dunno. Fall down. Maybe they won't notice. But the truth was, they weren't mad at me for winning. They appreciated the skill it took. Those childhood games were some of the only times I wasn't judged by the color of my skin. Hooray, Jackie! How's he do it? And what's the B on his hat stand for? You'll see. Still, that didn't make all of my problems go away. At the local public pool in Brookside Park, you could only go swimming if you were white. If your skin was black, they locked you out. Don't they know how hot it is out here? Trust me, they know. When people complained, they gave us 1 day each week. Wednesday. Every Wednesday from 2 to 5, they'd open the pool to anybody black, Hispanic, or Asian. Don't they know how mean that is? Trust me, they know. Oh, come on, he even swims in his hat? Maybe the B is for buoyant. So how do you win when you feel like you're fighting the entire world? My mother, who worked as a maid, showed me the answer. Back then, we were so poor, we sometimes ate only 2 meals a day. To help us out, every Saturday night, the local bakery would give us their leftovers. And the milkman, back when milk was delivered to your house, would give us whatever extra he had. It's a feast! Look at all this food! It's not just for us. What do you mean? We weren't the only ones struggling for money. My mom took the extra food and shared it with all our neighbors. That's right, she even shared it with the angry guy who threw rocks at me. Would you like some extra bread? Wow, thanks. That's very kind of you. I'm Molly, Jackie's mom. Nice to meet you, Molly. That's how we got to be friends with everyone in the neighborhood. It was one of my mom's best lessons. When you do something good, it brings out the good in others. Plus, the more that our neighbors got to know us, the more they realized just how much black and white people were alike. I learned a similar lesson from a local mechanic named Carl Anderson. He saw the group of boys I used to hang out with. We called ourselves the Pepper Street Gang. We were a bunch of poor kids. For fun, we'd throw dirt clods at cars and swap golf balls from the local course. When he saw what we were doing, Mr. Anderson took me aside. He didn't lose his temper. Calm as could be, he told me, "Jackie, I know why you're following the crowd. You're afraid they'll think you're different, or chicken. But it doesn't take guts to follow the crowd. Courage comes from being willing to be different." What Mr. Anderson said that day, it got to me. With the help of my pastor, I stopped hanging out with the gang. From there, I threw myself even deeper into my favorite activity. Sports, and winning at sports, especially baseball. As a teenager, I could run so fast, a local reporter noticed that in nearly every game, I stole second, third, and home at least once. That isn't stealing, it's grand larceny. Man, this guy can write. You were just on first base. How'd you get so fast? Maybe that B is for blast off. In college, I became the first UCLA student to ever letter in 4 sports in the same season. Baseball, and football, and basketball, and track. They said I was one of the best football players in the country. 2 seasons in a row, I scored the most points of any player in the league. I won the NCAA title that year. Only one American jumped farther than me. But the same problems kept coming back. When the college newspaper wrote a nice article about me, one of my own white teammates purposely smashed into my leg, trying to injure me. He was mad that the article said something nice about a black person. Ah, my leg! Don't they know we're on the same team? Trust me, they know. By the time I got out of the Army, it still didn't matter that I was one of the best athletes in the world. Country. If you wanted to play professional sports, you had to be white. Sorry, son, your kind doesn't belong here. Back then, if you were the world champ, it meant you were the white champs. In all Major League Baseball, not a single team had even one black player. Oh, and did I mention that if you were on a black team, the pay was worse, the food was worse, and sometimes the only place to sleep was on the bus? Gross, is this food or goo? You don't want to know. But that was all about to change. Thanks to a man named Branch Rickey. Rickey was the president of the Brooklyn Dodgers, one of the most popular baseball teams ever. I have an idea. The Dodgers will secretly look at black players. Are you nuts? People will stop rooting for us. I don't care. It's time to do what's right. With so many players fighting in World War II, Rickey had a plan for filling his team. After searching all across the United States and the world, Branch Rickey found me. I'm Jackie Robinson. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. I think you can play in the major leagues. How do you feel about that? Mr. Rickey told me that he knew I was a good ball player, but he wanted to know whether I had the guts. He warned me that many white people would be mad to see a black player. There's no one on our side. No owners, no umpires. Loads of players and spectators will yell at you. Pitchers will throw baseballs at your head. But no matter what you do, if you get angry, it'll look like you can't handle it. Can you handle it? On April 18, 1946, at 27 years old, I was given my shot. At Roosevelt Stadium in Jersey City, New Jersey, I played my first official game for the Montreal Royals, the Brooklyn Dodgers farm team. You better believe I was terrified. I didn't want to let people down. Then at 3:04 p.m. in my first at-bat, I was thrown out at first. You're out. Thousands of black spectators had come to see what I could do. Thousands of white people were there too, convinced that a black player couldn't possibly be as good as a white one. It was up to me to prove them wrong. The next time I came up was in the third inning. There were 2 men on base. The pitcher decided on a fastball. I can still see it coming, chest high, down the middle, but this time... Crack! When the ball finally landed 340 feet away in left field stands, no one could say that a black man can't play as well as a white man. Some call it a home run, others call it history. That afternoon, in 5 at-bats, I hit and got on base 4 times. I stole second twice, and I scored 4 runs. Hooray, Jackie! How's he do it? When he puts that B hat back on, it's going to be for boom. When the game was done, I couldn't get to the locker room because I was mobbed by fans. Black, white, young, old, even the folks rooting for the other team. They were cheering for me. Still, that didn't mean it was easy. When I started playing for the Brooklyn Dodgers, lots of players didn't want me there. Pitchers threw fastballs at my head. Runners stepped on me with their cleats. Catchers even spit on my shoes. And they weren't just coming after me. They told me if I kept playing, they'd hurt my son. Was I mad? Yes. Was I scared? Yes. I know you saw that. But I never let it stop me. I told you that B is for boom. The B is for Brooklyn, genius. Game after game, I kept playing, knowing I wasn't just playing for myself. Each time, more and more black people, black and white, were cheering. In the stands, fans wore "I'm for Jackie" buttons, and slowly, eventually, we were all playing together. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Baseball opened up to everyone. It was just like those childhood games of dodgeball. Through the simple game of baseball, the country saw a new possibility, a new option. All they needed was for someone to go first. You see his stats? He stole home 19 times. Was National League MVP in 1949 when he led in hitting and steals. The Dodgers won 6 pennants in his 10 seasons. He was one of the few people inducted into the Hall of Fame in the very first year he was eligible. In life, people tried to scare me. They wanted to stop me. They wanted to make me go away. Why? Because I was different. Each time I wanted to fight back. But for real change to come, you need to lead by example. Being a leader takes bravery. But remember this, no one is born brave. No matter how big or small you are, there will always be things that scare you. It's okay to be afraid. Just don't let it stop you. Remember that park where they wouldn't let him swim? It's now called Robinson Park. Today, no one in baseball can wear the number 42, but once a year, every player on every team wears it. It's the one day when everyone looks the same. There's a real power in each and every one of us. Use that power to do what's right. Use that power for a cause that you believe in. And most of all, use that power to lead and help others. You know, instead of Brooklyn, you could have told people the B was for brave, just like my middle name. I'm Jackie Robinson. I will always lead the way, and I hope you will too. When others see your example, they'll stand with you. It's the only way the world ever gets changed. Together. A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. Jackie Robinson.